You're watching the CinOptic Enterprise Design Expo video. Today we'll be talking with CinOptic members Cole Risco and Vanessa Dulong to learn more about the CinOptic Media Enterprise. Can you guys give me just like a general overview of what your biggest two projects are right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the one that I'm part of, I'm a team lead for the Iowa Royal National Park, specifically the flagship promotional advertisement video.
Mm-hmm. I'm one of the team leads on the podcast project, Enterprising at Michigan Tech. So we started last semester. We interviewed innovative global solutions, and we had a really cool interview with them. We edited it down into a podcast, and we've been working with a couple of the other enterprise teams this semester and hope to release a couple new episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's it been like gathering all this content, like filming or recording, however you guys...
For Iowa Royal, again, I didn't go out and film it, but I talked with the people who did, and it seemed like a pretty intense experience where they went out to Iowa Royal on their dime. They got to go up there for free, and they spent a whole week out there filming and recording audio nonstop. I think there were 2 people on cameras, 1 person on a microphone, and they went all over the island. They went from Rock Harbor to Wendigo, which is the complete opposite ends of the island, and they hiked and camped and lodged and did all sorts of different things. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm very jealous of them, and I've said this multiple times to them, and they love rubbing it in my face. But it's really fun to look through all the footage and be like, oh my gosh, they were that close to a moose, or wow, they were there. That just looks like a Windows background on your computer. So yeah, once in a lifetime recording experience.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then for our recording process, it's pretty straightforward. As you can kind of imagine, we just sit, record, yeehaw, done. But a lot of our pre-planning and pre-production stuff is kind of what eats a lot of our time. We spend several meetings each episode communicating with the team that we plan to interview, scripting the interview questions, and trying to anticipate how the episode might flow. And then once we sit down to record, it's all up to the interviewer, and she really controls how the conversation flows. So we record in the WMTU production studio. Shout out WMTU. We usually just have the interviewer, the interviewees, and an audio person in the room. We really aim to have the guests be as comfortable as possible so that we can get a nice relaxed atmosphere and conversational kind of tone to the interview. And we explain to them that we can always take something out in post, so you can stop and start over literally anytime you want. Talking into a microphone can be pretty intimidating, so we've been learning how to help ease that for our guests. Interacting with them and practicing that professional communication has also been nice in addition. So,
okay. And what's the next steps for you guys after the recording and the filming? How do you guys kind of get back into that mind space of okay, now I got to put everything together?
Mm-hmm. So after that, we move on to editing, which is probably the longest part of our production. There are 3 main phases of the editing process that we have to tackle. First off, we do the dialogue edit, which is where we go and we clean up all of the audio, just basically. So getting rid of ums, getting rid of a lot of long gaps in sentences and some mouth noises, stuff like that, just to keep things quick and concise for our listener. From there, we transcript the interview and take a closer look at the arc of the episode. We kind of just decide what kind of story we want to tell and how best to represent whoever we're talking to that week. We'll talk as a team and decide if it would be better with any different sections, rearranged, removed, things like that. And then once we're happy with the content of the episode, it needs to be leveled. In the interviews, you get people that talk at a lot of different levels. Then sometimes they get a little bit quieter, louder as they go. And to make everything audible and consistent, we have to go in and sometimes literally word by word adjust the volume. And then since we release on Spotify, we have to level to a specific measurement of volume, which is about -14 LUFS, to make sure it sounds the best on that platform.
So we have a very similar thing in terms of, going into an editing phase, but with video, it's a little bit different. The first thing you really have to do is find the video clips, which sounds very silly, but when there are gigabytes and terabytes of footage you have to go through, that can be a really long process. So how you organize it really matters. Thankfully, for the orientation videos, it was all storyboarded out, so it was literally just a puzzle piece. And then once we got all the footage, you just find some music that we thought would be appropriate for the video. And we added closed captionings as well. But for the flagship video that I've worked on the most, it was the complete opposite, where we had all the footage, but we had no idea how we were going to structure this thing at all. So it was a lot of script writing and drafting and things like that. A lot of communication back and forth from the clients. So yeah, I mean, for our Royal, we had like an agreed upon thing from the start of exactly how many videos we were going to do. But most of the time, especially with the flagship video, the clients are looking for something really specific. So when they are happy with what they're looking at, that's sort of the time to be like, okay, let's export this in whatever system they want to and give it to them.
Okay. And have you guys faced any challenges on either of these projects, or even on other projects you've worked on, that kind of was like a big struggle for you, but then once you got over it, you're like, hell yeah?
One that I'm just kind of personally working on right now is just deciding what the best material is in the editing phase and making those decisions of what to keep and what to get rid of. It's just a little bit difficult for me, but I'm just really working on making those decisions myself and deciding what's best for the episode.
Okay.
Yeah, for Iowa Royal, we did everything backwards, so a lot of script writing and drafting. You have to be very patient when trying to come up with a video like that, because you can bring an idea to the client and then they don't like it, and you have to kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out what you can do differently, or take their notes into effect with the footage that we've got. I would say that was a pretty big challenge, but I think it was worth it because I learned a lot, and I think the client is going to be very happy with what we've come up with.
Okay. And then where could someone find out some more information about CinOptic?
Yeah, we have a website. If you just look up MTU CinOptic, it should be like the first thing on Google. You can see all the projects, all the team members, anything like that. There's ways that you can contact us as well. Or if you're a student here already, we have weekly meetings. They change every semester. But again, the website, you can contact us and we can arrange something. And we also have a recruitment officer now. So you can also contact them as well.
All right, let's check it out. The content is organized logically and flows well from start to finish.
Check. Is the team's purpose and objectives clearly stated?
Check.
Message is clear, coherent, and articulate?
Check.
The message is engaging and draws interest?
Check. All right, let's hope the judges feel the same.